Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's podcast, the Support System Limited podcast. I'm your host. My name is Damilari Akeremi, and today we'll be looking at a very important topic that talks about GIS, Geographic Information System. And also, we have with me in the studio, um, a highly esteemed GIS consultant who also doubles to be the MD of the Support System Limited. And before we proceed or delve into today's topic, I would like our guest to introduce himself. All right, sir. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you, Dami. Engineer Ben Oyibe, and I've been a GIS consultant for 24 years. And very happy to talk about a very great passion of mine, which is Geographic Information Systems. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much once again um, for gracing our our show today. All right. So for our audience that are not familiar with GIS, please, can you tell us what exactly is GIS and how it impacts our daily lives?
Geographic Information Systems is a solution that it's a system of systems which comes together to form a pattern. It has hardware, maps, or data, software, and of course, the system itself. So Geographic Information System helps in giving us analysis patterns, help you to simulate patterns, and either forecast or tell you what happened. So it's a system of solutions that aids planning, effective planning, and utilization of plans for any aspect of human endeavor.
Wow, that's awesome. One thing that I was able to get from what he said is that GIS is a systems of system. When you talk about systems of system, it's something that houses other components, right? All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, so how has GIS evolved over the decade, and what are those things that you can say that are like a new trend in GIS?
Well, GIS is going towards artificial intelligence,
Okay.
but it's come through desktop to enterprise solutions, to online solutions, to hybrid solutions, and now Kubernetics and then artificial intelligence. So it's gone through a whole gamut of evolution as software changes, and then of course GIS patterns itself to make sure that the software itself is usable by those that need it.
Oh, wow, awesome. It made me remember when I was in school that we taught the architecture of GIS, from desktop to web GIS and to, enterprise. Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So, sir, can you run us through your journey in GIS? How did you start? And just run us through your journey in GIS.
That's interesting. Okay, so I studied computer engineering at the best university in the world, Obatawolo University.
Well, sir, sorry to cut you. I think it is the best university in the whole of Nigeria. That's the University of Lagos.
That's nice. Okay, we're talking about the world now. Well, okay, so I studied computer engineering at Obatawolo University, Ile-Ife, and then was into IT. And in 2000, I got into a project, Niger Delta Development Commission. I got into that project, the IT part, and in that part was GIS. That was the first time I was learning about GIS, and it was interesting to me. And I said, well, I need to learn about this solution. And so I enrolled at the University of Lagos to do my master's in GIS. And then very glad to have met some gentlemen from Ghana, some Abua, and they took me in and taught me GIS. Sambos, okay, the MD of Sambos, late now, and from there I evolved and I became a partner of S3, and then GIS has been my forte since then.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. So for our audience that are not familiar with Sambos Esri, so Sambos is a GIS firm that is, is in Africa. Then Esri is the topmost GIS, what's it called, firm in the whole world that they produce the software that will make you the foremost software that will make use of in GIS.
Sambos represents Esri in West
Esri in
Africa,
West
the
Africa.
Esri distributor.
All right. So thank you so much, sir. All right. So, sir, what has been your most exciting projects that you've done so far in GIS, or promising projects that's?
Wow, thank you so much. As I said, the project, the NDC development plan, the first NDC development plan, I was part of that project, and some Germans were GTZ, they were in charge, and for me that was very interesting because that was a plan for Niger Delta. It was a 20-year plan, which if they had followed, would have changed the Niger Delta. It had every facet: fisheries, water, roads, cities, every plan. Gas, petroleum, households, electricity, rural electricity. I mean, it was every plan. But midway through it, it was I don't know. They didn't complete it. But that plan still now is still relevant in the Delta.
I hope our government would embrace the GIS technology, because there's so much that GIS can do for us as a nation, which is one of the things that you mentioned to us, that if that project, the solution was being implemented, it would have been something that would help us as a nation. Thank you so much, sir, for that. All right, sir. So what's your biggest challenge, the biggest challenge I've ever faced in GIS, on GIS projects, and how were you able to overcome the challenge?
Well, I think for me, the biggest challenge, which is not personal, is the idea that GIS must be in silos. That's the biggest challenge for GIS, especially in Nigeria. It's in silos. Okay, you have organizations having data that's relevant to other organizations, but it's kept and guided jealously. Meanwhile, it's not being used. And that's one reasons why a project like Grid 3 it's an eye opener, because it brings data from a lot of economic solutions like housing, like sensors, education, and brings them together. And so anybody can use it for planning, for research. So that's the biggest challenge I've had, which is data in silos in almost every aspect of our development.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we want to talk about support system as a GIS company. So how do you make use of GIS in support system?
Well, GIS is actually what we do. We have a lot of staff, GIS architects, we have analysts, we have consultants, and of course our forte is enterprise GIS, which we've deployed all over the country, and we've had to even work with Esri on some national projects. So that's our forte, enterprise GIS, and we've deployed it in oil and gas, in manufacturing, in every aspect, housing. The technology is transient, keeps changing, and you need to keep abreast of that, which means you need to keep educating yourself. And that's why the idea of MOOC, which is free, is very relevant. They produce maybe 6 MOOCs in a year, and it's important that everybody tries to join that, because it helps keep you abreast of the latest technology in industry.
Thank you so much, sir. So again, for our audience that doesn't know what MOOC is, so MOOC is a massive open course for everyone that's that is interested in GIS. All right, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we've been talking about Esri. You know, Esri is like a proprietary software, right? So how can you? So what's like the difference between an open source software and a proprietary software?
Okay, so open source software allows you to get the software and work on it at any level, even at the machine level. But with proprietary software, you are not allowed to do that. You can only have mostly APIs or SDKs to work on it. They're giving you a format and they say, okay, this is the baseline, work on this. But for open source, you can use any part of it. It's machine language. You can decide what you want to do with it. So that's the major difference between open source and proprietary software.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Okay. So lastly for today. Okay. So so what's the future of GIS, particularly in our nation, Nigeria, or in the whole globally? But then let's come to our country, Nigeria. So what's the future of GIS like?
Okay. So I would like to say that what is the future without GIS? That will be the question. Because without GIS, you can't plan. GIS is needed in all facets of planning. Is it even to get your passport? Is it tracking even the bandits? Is it space technology? Is it blue marine technology? You need GIS for every aspect. Is it the military? Okay, is it drone technology? Everything is GIS. So the question is, what is the country without GIS? And that is a huge question because we are not putting enough resources into working on that technology. A lot of countries are way ahead of us, a lot even African countries. Okay, and like I said, until we stop working in silos, until we come together, have a central national data space infrastructure, NSDI. We've been talking about it for years. We need to have that system in place for the country. You know what data is available, you know where it's available, and you know in what format it's available. That has to happen for Nigeria.
So we've heard it all, our audience, our distinguished audience. So GIS is a technology or a system that every one of us should embrace because there is no future without GIS. All right, thank you so much, sir, for your time. Really, really appreciate it, and we look forward to having you at our show once and again. All right, sir. So for our online audience or those watching us live, sir, can you just tell us how we can reach your company?
Thank you. Okay, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and our handle is Support Systems Limited. Well, our website actually is www.supportsystemslimited.com, and on the website you'll get all our handles there. Thank you.
All right, so we very told our audience try and reach Support System Limited on their website and get to know what they're into. Thank you so much once again for joining us for today's show. I remain your host, Damilare Akinremi. Until I see you again, bye.